From Andhra Pradesh, he did not know what it was. But he felt something. In the hills near Srikalhasti, in what is now southern Andhra Pradesh, there lived a tribal hunter named Thinanan. He belonged to the Chenchu people, who lived deep in the forest, far from any temple or scripture. Thinanan had never read a Veda. He had never sat at the feet of a guru. He could barely read at all. He hunted deer with a bow. He drank from streams. He ate roasted meat with his hands. And one day, alone on a mountain path, he found a Shiva lingam under a tree. He did not know what it was. But he felt something. A warmth. A pull. He sat down beside the stone and could not leave it. Hours passed. Hunger came. He realized this stone was someone he loved. He needed to feed his beloved. So Thinanan went into the forest, and he hunted the finest deer he could find, and he roasted the meat over a fire, and he tasted each piece himself to make sure it was good, and then he laid the very best pieces on the leaves before the lingam. He brought water from the stream in his mouth, and he spit it out gently on the stone to bathe it. He did not know any other way to wash a god. But Thinanan was not the only one who worshipped this lingam. There was an old Brahman priest named Sivgocharyar, who walked up the hill at dawn each day to perform the proper rites. He would chant the Sanskrit hymns. He would bathe the stone in pure water from a sacred pot. He would offer flowers, the right flowers, in the right order. And one morning, when he arrived, the priest stopped in horror. There were footprints around the lingam. There were bones beside it. There was the smell of roasted meat. And there were leaves with chewed pieces of deer on them, laid like offerings on the stone he had spent his life serving. The priest washed the lingam, again and again, with shaking hands. The next morning, the meat was back. The next morning, again. The priest finally went to the lingam itself, and he wept, and he asked, "What is happening, my lord?" That night, Shiva appeared to him in a dream. The voice said, "The boy who comes here loves me as much as you do. I want you to see how. Hide behind the tree tomorrow and watch." The priest hid behind the tree at dawn. Thinanan came up the hill with his deer meat. He sat down before the stone. He smiled at it. He began to lay out the food. And then a strange thing happened. The right eye of the lingam, for in this temple, the lingam had carved eyes, began to bleed. A thin stream of blood ran down. Thinanan dropped his food. He cried out. He tore herbs and pressed them to the stone, but the blood would not stop. He could not bear to see his friend suffering. So Thinanan did the only thing he could think of. He pulled an arrow from his quiver. He pressed the tip against his own right eye. And he pulled it out, and he pressed it to the bleeding eye of the stone. The blood stopped on the right eye. But then the left eye of the lingam began to bleed. Thinanan, half blind now, blood on his face, did not hesitate. He pulled out another arrow. But how would he find the wounded eye of the stone after he removed his own second eye? He paused for one breath. Then he did something only a hunter would think of. He lifted his foot, and he placed it firmly on the bleeding eye of the stone, so he would know exactly where it was. Then he raised the arrow to his own left eye. And in that instant, a hand came out of the stone. A hand of light. It caught Thinanan's arm before he could strike. Shiva himself stood before him. The priest fell to the ground. Shiva turned to him and said, "This is Kannappa." This is the one with the loving eyes. He fed me what he had. He bade me how he knew. He gave me his own eye when I asked nothing of him. There is no Sanskrit in his worship. There is no purity in his offerings. But there is no greater devotion in any temple of mine, in any kingdom, in any age. Kannappa stood before Shiva in tears. And he was given a place that the Brahman priest, with all his scripture, had not earned in many lifetimes. The temple at Srikalhasti still stands. Pilgrims still climb the hill. The image of Kannappa stands beside the lingam to this day. And every retelling of his story is, very gently, a reminder to anyone who would judge another's worship, that God, in the end, does not measure the form of the offering. Only the cost. Tomorrow's story comes from another corner of India. Subscribe to walk with us through the folklore of every region, in your language.